Peace be upon you, all friends. May Allah's mercy, health and well-being be upon all of humanity. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, today I want to draw the attention of the wise by once again highlighting the distinctiveness of melet wisdom. Now it is evident that all over the world, whether in Islam or other religious teachings, and in many other paths followed by those who claim or do not claim adherence to these teachings, everyone insists that the path they point to is the absolute truth. However, on the other hand, if there is a claim, there must be proof. Here, the proof of melet wisdom lies in its true and concealed knowledge from the world. Indeed, the path of melet wisdom is referred to as a messenger's path, which signifies a perfect human being who has reached the hidden treasures of divine knowledge from Almighty Allah. These treasures can't be scattered like grains of barley in a mosque courtyard. In other words, at the point of unity, the mouth of the bag is opened only to a certain extent, drawing the attention of the wise, and those with appropriate aptitude and capability are accepted onto the path. Our method and distinction lie here. The proof of our knowledge, the proof of melet wisdom, is hidden in the genuine peace and the actions of the melami wise, the perfect ones, or the righteous ones, who give each rightful owner their due rightfully. Now, do others have this? The wise should look at this, observe it, and accordingly make their decision. If they wish to reach salvation, to reach Allah, to attain peace and happiness, they should choose their path accordingly. Our purpose is to address those wise individuals, not to gather disciples or people. Melet wisdom has no such aim. That aim is more common in other sects or various teachings that exploit people's religious and spiritual feelings for money. Therefore, we do not want those wise individuals to waste their time on such corrupt or exploitative paths, which is why we make these efforts and endeavors on this channel without charging any fees. Because from time to time, we see that those who come to us as seekers have extremely confused minds and consciousnesses. They have been distracted by such exploitative or corrupt systems or teachings. These teachings truly leave a person devastated and abandoned. Those who claim to know these teachings, so-called coaches, so-called masters, and the like, speak in a convoluted manner as if they have seen the treasures, realms, and heavens related to the divine knowledge of Almighty Allah and experienced the situations there. For instance, we see videos of someone claiming to be a coach, and they randomly appear before us. On one hand, they talk about the levels of the self. On the other hand, they talk about light beings. Then they mention Sirius energy, and finally they discuss the quantum field. They turn it all into such a confusing mixture. Of course, they deceive those who seek knowledge and information, but are at a lower level than themselves. However, in the eyes of Almighty Allah, there is no greater sin and crime than presenting oneself to people as a saint or a wise person. If these individuals knew what kind of end they were preparing for themselves by behaving in this way, they would stop today. They would stop today, but their eyes are veiled. The density of this world, which we call the world of colors, the realm of tangibility, surrounds them, and thus they actually serve falsehood and evil without realizing it. Therefore, at this point, the wise must think carefully when choosing a path. Even though it depends on aptitude and capability, a person must first investigate what a perfect guide is. The need for a perfect guide develops and flourishes as an inner desire in a person. If the heart is content, they will choose their path accordingly. At the level of Sharia, this need does not arise. As Almighty Allah says in Surah Al-Kafirun, "Your way is yours, and my way is mine." At the level of Sharia, those whose faith is at that point do not need knowledge, a teacher, or a guide. They are fine there, and they will be left there. But those who go beyond and question and research, such as those at the level of Tariqah, understand that a perfect guide is indispensable. They are already convinced of this and walk with their sheikhs and guides. However, if one goes beyond the point of truth and gnosis, the perfect guide is still indispensable. This indispensability is confirmed by a verse in the Quran where Almighty Allah says, "Strive hard for salvation and seek a means for it." Now, of course, at this point, those who follow Sharia or some others interpret this means as the Quran or the Sunnah of the Prophet, which is in line with their faith and belief. However, in the true sense, this verse refers to the perfect guide. Therefore, the necessity of a perfect guide should become evident to the seeker at the very beginning. The person must believe in this. Otherwise, without this belief, they end up learning memorized information from various sources, from coaches, or entering a corrupt path or a supposed tariqah. There, they receive various divine names and remembrances from an unqualified guide, which only confuses their mind and fills their vessel. A vessel filled in this way is not suitable for someone who truly desires to reach Allah, but is instead motivated by curiosity for knowledge, personal gain, or the desire to enter paradise. Such a person cannot advance in the path of melemy. It is impossible. The melamet path is like iron, unchewable, and like a shirt of fire, unwearable. Therefore, someone who truly desires to reach Allah with genuine love must first empty their vessel. If possible, if they are awake and wise, they should avoid distractions and choose a path that will truly satisfy and convince them, and then start to pursue knowledge accordingly. When this belief is not present, we often see that seekers eventually abandon the path due to the limited and superficial knowledge they previously acquired. Our era, by the decree of Almighty Allah and the governance of Almighty Human, is the period in which the true meaning of unity and the spread of Allah's Islam to the world is destined. We firmly believe in this. The saints have described this in various cycles over time. Moreover, these cycles have been indicated in Eastern mysticism, Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, and many other ancient teachings. The world system of Almighty Allah, this phenomenon we call time, is formed by the successive cycles of majesty and beauty. Currently, quantum coaches, life coaches, and others hear bits and pieces of true knowledge and steal them, becoming aware of these cycles. They then distort and embellish this knowledge with their limited minds and imaginations to present it to humanity. They are greatly mistaken. Almighty Allah says, "Above every knowledgeable one, there is one more knowledgeable." The truth is far beyond what they know. Those who see Allah, the soul, and themselves as separate entities and try to present themselves as one through a role are nothing but wretched individuals, disciplined by the guidance of Almighty Allah. Therefore, if one does not want to be distracted by such things, they must question, research thoroughly, and strive to embrace the joy of melamet wisdom. We wanted to draw everyone's attention to these points once again. I extend my love, peace, and affection to all of humanity.